yesterday we did simple interest. Simple interest is a simple procedure. Simple interest, we just use the formula I equals PRT. Simple formula that will always be given to you. Simple process, multiply. But that, you don't typically see that. That's in really rare cases that you see businesses or banks dealing with simple interest. What businesses and banks deal with are compound interest. That's what you can do today. So yesterday you can calculate simple interest. Today you can calculate compound. Compound is just like simple interest, just compounded a bunch of times. And when you think about things like compound words, it's 2 words put together, or it's more than one. Compound means more than one. A compound, right? Compound word, bathtub, more than one. 2 words put together. But for math, it's more than 2. So it's just more than one. Compound means more than one time you're calculating your simple interest. Some vocab words that you need to know. You either get compounded annually, semi-annual, or quarterly. Like my student loan payments. My student loan payments get compounded quarterly. That means every quarter they recalculate how much I owe them, which is benefiting them, not me, because they're getting more and more interest based off of me. So the more you can get compounded when you invest, the more money you're going to make. You want to try to get compounded a lot, because what happens is they pull the money you earned from your interest and they recalculate how much money you have and do that simple interest formula again. So annual means means one. If I say compounded annually, I mean once a year. Semi-annual, what do you think semi means?
Half.
Yeah, half, 2.
Every now and then.
Semi-annual means 2 times a year. So if you get compounded semi-annually, every 6 months they're going to recalculate what your balance is. And then quarterly, what do you think that means?
4.
Every 4 times a year, yep. So those are the vocab words that you need to know with compound interest. You're either compounded annually, semi-annual, or quarterly. Okay, so there's 2 ways to do it. You can use a table, which is the most typical way, or there's a pretty advanced formula that I'll show you that's on the back side. I'm going to start with the table. It's very intricate. It takes a lot of little steps, but it's always using what you knew yesterday, the simple interest, I equals PRT. The formula does not use that. Okay, so using a table, what is the balance of an investment of $1,500 that earns an interest rate of 2% compounded annually after 4 years? Okay, so year 1. Year 1, I want to know what is my balance after year 1. So here's how you calculate that. You use I equals PRT, and then you add it to your original. So at year 1, my interest is $1,500 times 2% times 1. Time is always going to be 1 in this column. So I'm going to go ahead and calculate that. 1,500 times 2% is 30 bucks. So my interest is 30. That's how much interest I earned. But now my balance is 1,530. That's when you add. What I'm doing with the balance is I'm adding my interest to how much I had. Now, I go to year 2. In year 2, now I'm earning interest on my interest. So year 2, I go 1,530 times 2% times just 1 year. It's always 1 there, so you don't even have to really write that. So 1,530 times 2% is $30.60. So my new balance is $30.60 plus maybe I'll write this so you can see. 1530 plus 3060 is $1,560.60. Now notice what's going on here. My simple interest is I'm getting interest on the interest. Okay? Before I didn't get interest on the interest. I only got interest one time. Compounded interest, you get interest every year, or every quarter, or every semi-quarter. Year 3. Well, now I have $1,560.60 times 2%, and then times another year, just the one. Again, you don't have to write that. So I'm just plugging that into my calculator, and I get $31.21. And if you look at the interest I'm earning, do you notice that I'm earning more and more as each year progresses? Because interest has been put into the amount of money I make. Now my balance is what I had the previous year, $1,560.60 plus the interest I just earned, $31.21. And that's $1,591.81. Finally, last year, don't worry, in my old worksheet from last year, I had my 7th graders do it to 6 or 7 years, and I'm like, holy cow, I'm never doing that again. And so the most you'll ever have to calculate is 4 years.
Thank you.
Yeah, well,
Cool.
it's so detailed. I know. So next one. So now on year 4, I have 1,591.81 times my interest rate is the same, 2%, times the year, which is what? Each year I'm calculating a new one. So 1591.81 times 2% is 3184 rounded. Make sure you round your money right. It's never good when all of a sudden you get the answer wrong, and it's all because you forgot to round right. So now my balance, remember your balance is your previous balance plus your interest. So my previous balance was 1591.81 plus 3184. And I get 1,623 and 65 cents.
Didn't you just say it would never go above 4 years?
Yeah, no, I'm done.
About 4 years.
I'm at 4 years.
I know, but look at the second one.
Oh, well, right. Okay, so I just want you to compare now. Compound is different than simple interest. Okay, simple interest, if I said, hey, how much interest, or what would be your simple interest? You would go 1,500 times 2% times 4, right? In simple, and I'm going to show you that's completely different. 1,500 times 2% times 4 is 120. That 120 is your interest. What you have then is 1,500 plus 120 is what, 1,620? Not much of a difference. It gets to be more of a difference when you have a higher interest rate and a higher initial investment, or what you borrow gets to be a huge difference. Okay, we're going to do the same process. I did modify on the notes. We turned our 5 to 3 years. So using a table, what is the balance of an account that is $900 compounded annually with an interest rate of 12%, so a higher interest rate after 3 years? So I want to know year number 1. Year number 1, my interest that I'm going to earn is 900 times 12% times just that year that I'm at, so times that 1 year. So 900 times 12% times the 1 year is $108. See, look at that. That's because your interest rate's higher. So now the balance that I have is 900 plus your 108, which is 1,008, correct?
Money.
Okay, now I'm going down to year number 2. And I'm going to earn interest based on the interest I previously earned. So now I'm going to get 1,008 times the 12% times the 1 year that I'm recalculating it. So 1,008 times 12% is 120.96. So my new balance is going to be 1,008 plus 120.96. And that's a total of $1,128.96. Last year, year 3, I bring that new interest, and now I'm earning interest on the 2 previous times I've already earned interest. 1128.96 times 12% times your 1 year. I like to just keep your numbers stored in your calculator, and it's much faster to do these little calculations. So now I earned $135.48. Remember to round your money. So my balance will be 135.48 plus 1128.96, and that is 1,264.44. I do want you to just observe that each year our interest keeps getting higher and higher, and the reason for that is because you're recalculating your balance, so of course it's going to get higher.